当超市开始把南瓜摆在最显眼的地方，你就知道秋天来了。咖啡店开始强推南瓜拿铁，面包房里飘着南瓜吐司香，连意大利通心粉也蹭热度，变身成了南瓜的形状。同时你会惊异于南瓜的家族之大之奇葩，橙色的、黄色的、白色的、绿色的，弯弯曲曲的，疙疙瘩瘩的，像飞碟的，像蘑菇的，真的很难挑出最喜欢的一只带回家。南瓜也是美国年末各大节假日里的刚需，无论是在万圣节里刻灯，还是在感恩节里做派，都要消耗不计其数的南瓜。在万众疯狂采购南瓜之际，种南瓜的农民们是不是要赢麻了？带着这个问题，我在金秋10月里的一个周末前往了美国西海岸最古老的一家南瓜农场 Arata's Pumpkin Farm。 他们在大萧条那会儿就开始种南瓜卖南瓜了。现任场主名叫 Chris， 是希腊裔，他在接管农场后又增设了有希腊特色的牛头人迷宫，还有鬼屋、甘草车等游乐设施，让最老的南瓜农场也成为了最好玩的南瓜农场。 Chris 在像我这么大时就来农场了，现在他的孙子都能在农场里跑了。秋天的周末是农场最忙的时候，我在 Chris 稍稍闲下来时见缝插针地截住了他，问他南瓜是不是美国秋天最好的生意。作为南瓜老饕的他有什么私藏的南瓜吃法。在我和 Chris 的对话中，你可能时不时的会听到农场里小火车跑过的声音，小朋友嬉戏的声音，还有 Chris 对游客的亲切问候声。希望这些环境音能传递给你秋日的喜气。如果你想亲眼见一见遍地南瓜的震撼，也欢迎你点击节目 show notes 中的链接，前往本期的视频版。Hey there, pumpkin lovers! It's that wonderful time of year when pumpkins become the official dress code at grocery stores. But if you're up for real pumpkin parties, check out the pumpkin patches in Half Moon Bay if you're visiting the Bay Area. These farmers have been growing pumpkins for almost a century. Are they all set for the busiest time of the year?
Ah, I caught them.
So you need to take care of everything here.
Yes. A lot of my employees walk by, they see this, but they don't understand that little kids can get hurt by doing that.
All right.
I'm going to go grab them and come and pick it up.
Gourd-geous.
Hi.
So how long have you been here?
Pushing over 30 years now, I think 33?
Oh.
34 years going on. Years ago, John Arata was looking for someone to be able to keep the farm going because as he was getting older, he needed help and he recruited me. I was in my early 30s. And we came in with different ideas and presented them to him and he liked them. One of them was the labyrinth. And having the ancient Greek ancestry and the Greek blood that I have in my veins, my father was from the island of Crete. So we introduced the labyrinth versus all the other corn mazes that were happening at the time. This one is more, how can I say, more intense because you cannot make a beeline through the corn and come out. You really have to stay true to the paths, multiple different corridors and arenas and amphitheaters and find your way out. Kids really relate to it and adults as well.
Yeah, so I know each year is a different design. So are you always the first one to try out the maze?
Yes, me and my son, we get involved quite intensely with maybe 2-3 different employees as well. And they help us build it and move all these bales. Here comes a train. I'll take a little breather for just a second. As you notice, what we've added different, I guess, wholesome activities for children and adults alike to enjoy. So as they come here as a family, a 3-year-old can have as much fun as a teenager, and a teenager can have as much fun as an adult. So I think we've touched a nerve that makes many different age groups, I guess, happy. So again, the maze, we have, it's quite laborious. 3 months to put this one together. And it's a difficult design this year, and every year is different. Otherwise, people will get bored of the same design. And then they say, we've done it once, no need to go back. But different designs every year are different challenges. That's what they present.
Why there's so many pumpkin farms in Half Moon Bay?
Well, Half Moon Bay is known to be the pumpkin, I guess, capital of California. Even though other towns and other growers, they beg to differ because they say they grow more pumpkins than Half Moon Bay. But Half Moon Bay, like I said, it's appeal, I think. It's being a nice touristy town. And you got Pescadero as well, San Gregorio, which is close to us. Come to find out, it's the third most visited area, I think, in the whole USA. I'm not talking about just Half Moon Bay. Between San Francisco and Carmel, that's when many of tourists come from Europe and other parts of our country to visit. And they see the orcas, they see the sea lions, I guess the beauty of the coast. We're proud to say that we were the first pumpkin farm back in the early 30s, 1932 actually, to sell the pumpkins, the gourds. Because back then, nobody bought pumpkins to go ahead and use them as, I guess, as jack-o'-lanterns. What they did back then, they used them either for feed or animal feed, and many of people ate them as well. As it's going around, we've been not telling people that for the last 30, 40 years that they make a great dewormer for hogs, especially, and other domesticated animals. Pumpkins do, and they're just it's a good nutrient and a supplement to have with other feed for many animals. So anyway, John and Clarence Arata, this story's been documented many a times. They broke the gourd and they were able to go ahead and plant it into the ground, and they got the pumpkins, and first pumpkins here were sold back in 1932 for 10, 20 cents a piece. Now, you're lucky you get a basketball pumpkin for 20 bucks. I guess inflation.
I heard pumpkin loves heat, like a lot of heat, but in Half Moon Bay, it's clouded all year round. So would that be like a challenge to grow pumpkins here?
Yes, and especially on the ground. What type of ground we have? Here we have adobe, which is not very friendly to farmers. You have to know exactly when to go ahead and work the ground and catch the moisture and germinate your seed instead of just weeds. But then also what it does, the only thing by being cooler, it extends your season. Instead of 3 months, it goes up to 4.5 months. Many of the farmers with their late rains we had on the coast this year are late with their pumpkins. So you'll notice a lot of pumpkins are still green. They just didn't have enough time to mature. In the valley, 2.5, 3 months you get a crop because the sun is so intense. But the advantage we have, our pumpkins here last longer because they're in the cool heat. They take longer to mature. They retain their moisture more. At other places, if they leave them there in that intense heat, they become soft. And a soft pumpkin does not last very long when a customer buys it. We grow some pumpkins here and a lot of corn stalks, and the kids love to go in the corn. Plus, we end up selling a lot of the corn for tamales or decorative purposes. And even though every year you keep planting the same crops, you have to alternate, they say, but we have no choice here but to keep trying and supplement the ground with other nutrients and vitamins.
So what is your favorite pumpkin variety?
Personally, I like they call them the wolf pumpkin. And it's been out now for the last 10, 12 years, I think. We introduced it here first. Again, it's a thick stem pumpkin with a long trunk that they call it, handle. And those are really appealing because instead of just an orange pumpkin, all of a sudden what captures your eye is the stem. And there's many of them. I don't know if you've taken any pictures of the pumpkin river that we have, but you'll notice a lot of them, and there's no two stems alike. They're all different. And that's my favorite variety.
So what is your favorite pumpkin recipe?
My wife loves to make pumpkin bread, and we get that from the Hubbard or Hokkaido. It's the same type of pumpkin. It looks like an acorn, kind of bluish on the outside. We used to call them, old John Arata used to call them Lobitas Blue. She uses the coffee cans, the 2-pound coffee cans made out of metal. They have a ridge every inch. And she goes through the method of putting oil and then putting flour so they're on stick, puts the batter in there, and then they grow right out of the can. And then when you have them already, every inch you can, an area that you can cut, you put some cream cheese on it. That's what I love. And you can tell right here, I eat quite a bit of it.
I see there are like a lot of visitors here. So what is the most out of the box way you see folks playing around with pumpkins?
Again, pumpkin is people cannot just have one pumpkin. We sell pumpkins in August. People come out and they just got to have these pumpkins. Many of people are not satisfied with only one. They buy multiple pumpkins, and for different purposes. Some people like to cook with them. Other people like to decorate with them. Other people like the shapes and colors. And then it brings in, I guess, the festivities here in the, I guess the fall festivities start. And then you kind of end up rolling right into the other holidays that are coming right around the corner. You know, Thanksgiving, and you got in November, of course, and Christmas coming right around the corner in December. We have many different varieties. And that's what we're known for also, to be diverse and have different varieties that people can say, oh my God, what is that? And we learn ourselves every year because they mix different pumpkins and they come up with a genuine, completely different and out-of-the-box pumpkin. And it's funny how they name them. They name them different names. And sometimes accidentally they end up making a gourd that nobody's seen.
What do you usually do with the leftover pumpkins?
Many of them we take and we go ahead and make seed out of, but not everyone, because they're so interpollinated, you do not know what you're going to end up with. So in other words, if you're going to cut up a pumpkin that's, you know, that has warts on it, you don't know if you're going to get the same type of pumpkin. You might get half, and the other half, which nobody knows exactly what it is unless you keep playing with it, you end up finding out. The other pumpkins, what we do, a lot of them that don't have broken stems, that are not all that good in shape, they get tilled under. Farmers come and get them and feed their stock. Like I said, a lot of cattle, they love pumpkins. And it's funny how to see a cow eat a pumpkin. They break them with their nose and then crunch. They sit there and in the salivate you can see, oh, they really enjoy it.
So how many staff do you have on farm?
Well, the maize being number one, of course, and most popular. The hayride, which goes around the property in the cornfield. We have the train that you've noticed going by several times. We also have this year a jumpy house and a little toddler jumpy house for little kids to enjoy, the ones that are 3 and 4 year olds. Of course, the traditional pony rides. And then we have our haunted house. One thing that I'm leaving out is many of people come and enjoy the place at night. Friday and Saturday nights in October, we stay open until 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. Howdy. And many people come out and miss the traffic at that time, arrive 4, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then when they go home, all the traffic is already gone. Therefore, they really enjoy themselves at a night event. They bring their flashlights, families come out, and they have a great old time, solving the maze in the dark. He's 5-year-old, and he just started attending kindergarten school, so he's making a lot of buddies and a lot of friends, and he had his birthday here. So now it's so funny. All these little kids come out, and they have a great time, and of course bring their parents, and they tell other schoolmates, and they enjoy the nice wholesome atmosphere here. As people are very friendly, all our staff. That's what we emphasize. That customers are number one. They spend 2 hours to get here. They got to wait half an hour to park. And then we want to make them as comfortable as possible. Unfortunately, because the economy, things have gone up. In order for us to retrieve our costs, we have to keep up with the times. I appreciate people understanding. And it's not by choice, it's necessity.
So how many employees do you have on the farm?
At any given time, especially in October, we even hire agencies to bring their own people here. But it wouldn't be unusual to see about 20, 22, 24 people. During the course of the year, it's mainly family run and with only a couple, 2, 3 different employees.
And I saw you have really busy mornings, so what are you up to today?
My main concern is for everything to go smooth. Smooth is good. I call it organized chaos mainly. We are trying to extend the parking lot, and where we're growing pumpkins, we're trying to harvest them. But being late, we're not able to do that because on top of all, we are farmers, and a farmer never wants to destroy its crop. The worst thing you can do to a farmer is run over his crop or, prematurely harvest. But the pumpkins finally started to turn, so now we can move them from there and extend our parking lot. So that's number one thing. We have the guys cleaning that area. And soon enough, we're going to be able to bring our pumpkins in as well. And at the same time, enlarge the parking lot by pushing the vines aside so people can park.
What do you do off the pumpkin season?
After the pumpkin season?
Yeah.
I put my feet up and rest for 2 months.
Yeah.
Because many people don't understand. They only see us working in October, or they only visit the farm in October. So they think, in other words, okay, here we are. These guys make a bundle of money. All they do, open in October and only work a month a year. They couldn't be any more wrong. We start in April, working the ground. Before to even plant your crops, you have to plow, disc, sometimes rototill. And then once the plants you plant, you got to start hoeing, irrigating, taking care of your crops, otherwise they won't grow. Then you have to go ahead, of course, harvest. After harvesting, you have to cut all these roads for all the activities that we have. So we stay so busy. And then we got the maize on top of everything, 2-3 months at a time, working laboriously, lifting up these bales. So it starts in April, doesn't end until September. As you noticed today, the reason I was late with your interview, I'm running around trying to make sure that everything looks great and people are happy. You can make 1,000 people happy. If you have one unhappy customer, that's the one that's going to eat on you, burden you all day, that you were not able to please that individual.
Yeah.
And that's the attitude we have here, and I think that's the reason we're so successful. We like to see people happy, and as I say, smiles are contagious. So we like to see people smiling. I'll be able to do it as long as I can, but I'm telling you, and I don't mind sharing it with everybody, this is getting to be a very difficult task at my age.